I'm Scott Wright of the Oklahoman, joined by Barry Trammell. This is an OSU update. Hoops version first. Let's start with that, Barry. Big day for Oklahoma State yesterday. Cade Cunningham announces that he is sticking to his commitment to the Cowboys. First of all, how big a deal was that?
Well, I think it's huge on a variety of fronts. One, it's a great endorsement of Mike Boynton for a guy to be threatened with no NCAA tournament for what appears to be his only year of college basketball, and to say, I still want to spend it in Stillwater with this guy. Tremendous endorsement of that program. It's also an endorsement of Cade Cunningham's character for a guy, he wore the he used the loyal and true emblem on his announcement, but it's sort of the OSU mantra, and for a guy to stay with the program in these circumstances shows that he's got some truth and some loyalty. It's also great for the program in terms of the coming year. It's going to be such a downer, and it might still be if they're banished from the NCAA tournament. But just the idea that Cade Cunningham will be here all year, Cowboys can compete for a Big 12 title, still should be exciting. Now, if the appeal is denied and they're not allowed to play in March Madness, it's going to be a tremendous bummer. But the notion that they throughout the winter you can watch Cade Cunningham suit up for the Cowboys, looks like it'll be a high NBA draft pick. Just a tremendous day.
Any gut feeling on what might happen with the NCAA appeal?
I'm actually somewhat optimistic. Most people would agree that the 1-year ban was somewhat stunning, surprising, considering that OSU gained no competitive advantage, didn't seek it, in the allegations included no competitive advantage in seeking them, and then in result as well. So they just hired the wrong guy. They hired the wrong guy, and he proved to be a fraudulent character. And for that, they got to be punished. And most people would say that's too heavy. This is the kind of environment in which the NCAA wants to come down heavy on college basketball. But I tend to think there's a 50-50 chance OSU could get that penalty removed.
With all that said, all the recruits that are coming in, the players that are coming back, one way or another, this has the makings of a really exciting year in Stillwater, I think.
Yeah, I agree with Cunningham and Randall Welker, the other freshman. One of the other freshmen, a tremendous player. Donovan Williams from Nebraska, another ballyhooed freshman. A lot of good recruiting class. Plus, you've got Isaac Likely. Lots to like about this roster. Now, I don't think this was going to be a Final Four contender, but I think it did have the potential to end the dry spell for Oklahoma State basketball in the NCAA tournament victories. So a team that good is going to win a bunch of games in January and February. So I think it'll be an exciting time at Gallagher-Iba. Cade Cunningham's the kind of player that 10 years from now, sort of the way they do with Marcus Smart now, you can look back and say, hey, with that guy's one of us. He played on the hardwood in Stillwater. So I think it will be an exciting time. Unfortunately, it's got the potential to end a little earlier than what everybody would like.
I think one of the most interesting things is what we've learned, kind of getting a little bit of insight into Mike Boynton's relationship with players. And I was fascinated as he talked on Monday about how he discussed things with Cade Cunningham over the last 2.5 weeks since the NCAA penalties were announced. He said he didn't want him to feel like this was just a recruiting pitch or that he was trying to sell him something. He just treated him the same way he had the previous 3.5 years. What have we learned about Mike Boynton, or are we just seeing more of what we already know?
Well, he seems pretty authentic. And, it's not very difficult to imagine him having great relationships with prospective recruits or current Cowboys, because he appears to have great relationships with all kinds of people. The OSU administration loves the guy. He does everything right. The fans like him, even though he hasn't won much. The media loves him because he is so down to earth and so amenable to interviews or whatever. He's not pretentious at all. I can imagine him having a great relationship with a high school recruit or an OSU freshman or sophomore. That, to me, that comes across as natural and very authentic.
All right, that'll wrap up this OSU update. Thank you for joining us at Oklahoman.com.